The African Union's Cartographic Revolution, reclaiming Africa's true size and identity. The map that shrank a continent. For centuries, the world has viewed Africa through a distorted lens literally. The Mercator projection, a 16th-century map designed for European sailors, dramatically misrepresents the continent's size, making it appear smaller than it is while inflating the land masses of Europe and North America. Greenland, for example, looks comparable to Africa on the Mercator map, when in reality, Africa is 14 times larger. Now, the African Union, is leading a bold campaign to replace this colonial-era distortion with the equal Earth projection, a modern, proportionally accurate representation of the world. This initiative is more than a technical correction, it's a psychological and geopolitical reclamation of Africa's true place in the world. By pushing institutions like the United Nations, World Bank, and global educational systems to adopt the new map, the O aims to restore Africa's visual prominence in global discourse, combat subconscious biases that diminish the continent's importance, empower young Africans with a stronger sense of identity and pride. This article explores the history of cartographic distortion, the O's campaign, and the profound implications of seeing Africa accurately for the first time. How the Mercator map deceived the world. The Mercator projection, a tool for colonial navigation. Created in 1569 by Flemish cartographer Gerardus Mercator, this map was designed to help European sailors navigate the seas by preserving straight-line courses. However, its mathematical distortion inflates land masses farther from the equator, making Europe and North America appear larger than they are while shrinking Africa, South America, and Asia. Africa's true size, 30.37 million km superscript 2, larger than China, the US, India, and most of Europe combined. Mercator's Africa appears smaller than Russia, 17.1 million km superscript 2, when in reality, Africa is nearly twice as big. Greenland illusion looks almost as large as Africa but is actually 14 times smaller. The psychological impact of a shrunken Africa. This distortion has had real-world consequences. Development bias. Aid maps often depict Africa as small, reinforcing the needy continent stereotype. Economic underestimation. Global investors subconsciously perceive Africa as less significant than it is. Educational misconceptions. Generations of students worldwide grow up with a warped sense of geography. The Mercator map didn't just misrepresent land, it misrepresented power. The African Union's Cartographic Revolution. The push for the equal Earth projection. In 2023, the O formally endorsed the equal Earth projection, a modern map that preserves true continent sizes, no more shrinking Africa. Balances shape and area accuracy, unlike the extreme distortions of Mercator. Promotes a fairer global perspective. Key supporters. UNESCO has begun using it in some educational materials. The World Bank is reviewing its adoption for development reports. Pan-African schools are updating textbooks to reflect the change. Why this matters for African identity. The O's campaign is about more than geography, it's about mental decolonization. Youth empowerment. Seeing Africa's true size fosters pride and ambition. Political influence. A larger Africa on maps reinforces its diplomatic weight. O is now the world's largest bloc after the UN. Economic perception. Accurate maps could shift investor mindsets about Africa's market potential. If we see ourselves as small, we think small. Now, we see ourselves as we truly are: vast, powerful, and central to the world. Resistance and challenges. Western pushback. Some institutions resist change, arguing Mercator is tradition, despite its flaws. Equal Earth is less useful for navigation. But modern GPS makes Mercator obsolete. It's just a map. Why does it matter? Because perception shapes reality. The fight for global adoption. The O is lobbying the United Nations to adopt Equal Earth in official documents. Tech giants, Google, Apple Maps, to update their default projections. Global media to stop using Mercator in news graphics. This isn't just about Africa, it's about correcting a 500-year-old lie that shaped global inequality. The future of Africa's image. A new era of African confidence. Accurate mapping could lead to stronger Pan-Africanism, if Africa sees itself as one giant bloc. Better foreign policy decisions, no more underestimating African influence. A shift in global narratives, from aid-dependent to economic powerhouse. Will the world finally see Africa as it is? The O's campaign is part of a broader movement from repatriating stolen artifacts to demanding UN Security Council reform. The Mercator map was a tool of empire. The Equal Earth map is a tool of liberation. A map that reflects reality. The African Union's push for accurate cartography is a quiet revolution, one that could reshape how Africa is perceived for generations. This isn't just about lines on paper, it's about dismantling a colonial mindset that has minimized Africa's place in history, economics, and global power. The world has seen Africa as small for too long. Now, it's time to see the truth. Please like and subscribe.